Hello dear students. So in this session we will be continuing our discussion on pH calculations for acids, particularly for weak acids and weak bases. In the last session I have explained and we discussed about the pH calculations for strong acids as well as strong bases, right now. So now here if you observe how can we calculate pH for weak acids and weak bases, let us discuss. If you observe the formula of pH, it says concentration of H plus ion minus log concentration of H plus ion is called pH. So this is a simple formula we are using for calculation of pH for acids right now. So we can use same formula in case of weak bases and weak acids also, but it requires little more understanding here, little more clarity is required. So let me explain this very clearly. Okay, so let us compare. First of all, I am taking HCl, which is a strong acid, okay, which is a strong acid. Upon dissociation gives complete H plus ion concentration and chloride ions are formed. So it means here the degree of dissociation for this particular acid will be 1. It means, what do we mean by degree of dissociation? To what extent this HCl is undergoing dissociation. Idi enta mattuku dissociate avutundi. For example, here I am saying HCl concentration as 0.1 molar, or I am taking HCl concentration as 0.2 molar. Okay, this is the concentration of HCl. So now since it has 0.2 molar concentration, the same amount of concentration is there for its ion also, like H plus ion also. Okay, this will be also 0.2. But the same story will not be seen in case of weak electrolytes, it means weak acids. Let us consider acetic acid here. Okay, acetic acid is a weak acid, dissociate to give H plus and OH minus. Instead of OH minus, here we will get acetate ion. So where do we get this acetate ion? Because acetic acid contains H plus and this acetate. So acetate separated, H plus separated. So now what is the pH formula we have? pH means this one. If I know the H plus ion concentration, directly I can substitute here and we will get the answer. But if you observe clearly, I used a full single side arrow here, single arrow, but in this case we have equilibrium symbol like this. It means the complete dissociation is not absorbed in case of weak electrolytes like weak acids and weak bases as we seen in the strong acids. Okay, so let us say C is the concentration. Here when I say C is the concentration, the same amount will be there for its H plus ion and chloride ions. That's why whatever 0.2 is there for HCl, same is there for its H plus. But if I say here C concentration, at the beginning if I say C concentration for acid, this will be 0, 0. So after some time what happens? The acid will get dissociates to give this H plus and acetate. So out of this C amount of acid, some amount will be getting dissociated. The dissociated amount should be written like alpha. What is its concentration? C. So C minus C alpha indicates the amount of acid getting dissociated. So this is the amount of acid converted into its ions now. So what is the amount of H plus ion you are going to have? C alpha. So now what is the concentration of H plus ion we have? C alpha. Okay, so this value you need to substitute over here. So what I told you, alpha will be called as degree of dissociation. What it is? Degree of dissociation. There are two model questions on this we can expect in the exam. Okay, these are already asked in the previous exams. That's why I am specifically discussing here. Okay, and very basic to understand also. That's why I am covering this in the bridge course. Okay, right. So now what is a H plus ion we got? C alpha. So if I use pH formula, what you are going to write? pH equals to minus log concentration of H plus. So this is nothing but minus log of C alpha. What is that? C alpha. Okay, so you can write pH is equals to minus log C alpha is there now. So whatever the value they gives, you need to substitute here, directly you get the pH. Okay, or sometimes you can use this like this as log C, like how it is log A into B now. So you can write log A plus log B. So minus is there as it is, log C plus log alpha is there. So instead of writing alpha, what I can write? Sometimes they won't give you alpha value. So what you are going to do there? Okay, this is a question now. So the first basic formula question or the formula fundamental question is this one. Calculating pH directly using its concentration and degree of dissociation. Sometimes they won't provide you alpha. What is the degree of dissociation? They won't provide. They will give you the data in some other format. So what is that format? I will explain. But before going to that, let us solve a question related to this formula first. Calculate pH of acid HA having 0.1 molar concentration and degree of dissociation given as 0.2. So this is the data provided. What you are going to do now? So pH, how can we get this pH? pH is equals to minus log concentration of H plus. See, I told you HA is a weak acid. What is this? It's a weak acid. Okay. So now in the place of H plus concentration, what we need to take? C alpha. C represents concentration. What is the concentration provided? 0.1 into alpha represents degree of dissociation, that is 0.2. Okay, that's it. So done almost. So pH will be equals to minus log 2 into, see this I can write it as 2 into 10 power minus 2. I hope you know this. 0.1 into 0.2 means 0.02. Can be written as 2 into 10 power minus 2. Okay, yeah. So again this is log A into B form. Okay, so we can write first this one. So it becomes 2 minus log 2. So how I have made? So log 2 separately, minus log 2 separately, and this one minus log 10 power of minus 2. So 10 power of minus 2 I can write first, log 10 is 1. So 2 minus log 2 is remaining. So what is the value of log 2? This is 0.3010. For calculation purpose I am taking it as 0.3. Okay. So what is going to be the answer? So 2 minus 0.3. 2 minus 0.3. So 0.3 means it is 1.7. So this will be the pH you are going to get for this particular acid. Okay. So ila manam calculate cheyali. Okay. Right. Next thing is, how can we do the another format? Another format means we have one more model here to be understood. Let us discuss on that also. This is one model questions we can expect in the exam related to the pH calculation of weak acid. Next one, the second model questions that we can expect in the exam is, let us say acetic acid is there again. Acetic acid is a weak acid, remember. Okay, it gives you acetate ion and H plus. So I am saying at time T0, at the beginning of this reaction, I am taking C concentration of this acid, and there will be 0 concentration of ions. After some time T, what happens? From this C concentration of acid, some amount will be converted into product, that is C minus C alpha. What is the amount of products formed? C alpha, and this is also C alpha. Okay. So if I got to know this alpha value, we can solve directly what is the pH of this solution. Because we know C value, I do not know this alpha value. How do we get this alpha? This is the question, right? Let us solve here. So for this acid, you can write acid dissociation constant as concentration of products. What are the concentrations we need to take? Acetate ion concentration, H plus ion concentration by acid concentration. These are the three terms we should consider. Okay. Next, here acetate ion side we have C alpha for acetate ion, H plus also having C alpha. Acetic acid is having C minus C alpha. I am writing it as 1 minus alpha multiplied with C, because C is taken as common. So C is removed. So finally we got C alpha square by 1 minus alpha. So this is the value of acid dissociation constant K. Okay. So now in the question they will provide you Ka value, but they will ask you to find alpha. How we are going to solve this? Yeah, easy. Look at this. Consider 1 minus alpha value is very less, that is equals to 1 only. Why I am saying? Since the acid given is very weak acid now, weak acids will be having very light amount of dissociation. If it is light amount of dissociation, 1 minus 1 very small value, almost negligible only now, it will be 1 only. That's how I am considering here. So now what happens? Ka will be equals to C alpha square. From here, alpha can be written as Ka by C root over. Okay, this is your final conclusion. We got alpha also. Fine, that's it. Finally, you got your alpha value and we know the concentration C. So H plus ion is written as, here it is C alpha, that is C into alpha. In the place of alpha, I am writing this C into root over Ka by C. Okay. Then next, multiply this inside. So what you can write in the inside the bracket? If I put this inside the bracket, you can write it as C square into, if I put it inside of this square root, you can write it as C square, okay, and denominator is C. So I can remove this one time. So finally we have Ka into C. This is the H plus ion concentration, okay, right. So now look at this, apply pH formula to this. pH is equals to minus log of H plus ion. So this side also minus log of Ka dot C. I can write a root as 1 by 2 also. I hope you know this, right? Yeah. So 1 by 2 you can write here 1 by 2. Okay, after writing that, this becomes minus log Ka plus minus log C. This is what the final conclusion. So minus log Ka is called a pKa. What you can call? pKa. So this should be called as pKa. Okay, and this is minus log C means minus log C. Like this you can write. So this is the answer for pH. Okay, yeah. Let us solve one question on this. What type of questions we can expect on this model? Okay, let's see. Given a question here, given 0.1 molar acetic acid or some weak acid, some 0.1 molar HA, mentioned it as a weak acid, or they won't mention it as weak acid, just by giving 0.1 molar weak acid with Ka, acid dissociation constant, is equals to like they will mention some value here. So it is mentioned as 10 power minus 5. Okay, calculate pH. So once again see what is the data provided. Given 0.1 molar weak acid. So HA అనేది ఒక weak acid. దాని యొక్క dissociation constant ఎంత ఉంది? 10 power minus 5. And asking us to calculate pH. So simply use that formula. Now no need of remembering all those steps. Use this formula, half into pKa minus log C. This is the final thing we need to consider. So what is the pKa we are going to get? Ka is 10 power minus 5. Then pKa will be 5. How we are getting this 5? Yeah, look at this. As like pH, we can also write pKa formula. Like in the place of H, we have Ka. No? So in the bracket you put K. That's it. So minus log Ka value is 10 power minus 5. So you can write minus 5 over here, minus of minus plus 5. Log 10, 1. So pKa value is 5. So this is half into 5 minus log C. Log C is how much given? 0.1. Okay, I mean C is given as 0, concentration is given as 0.1. So 0.1 can be written as 10 power minus 1 also. Right now? Yeah. So if there is something power like this in terms of logs, log A power B means B log A, we can write. I already discussed about that in the previous sessions. Okay. So this is 5. You can write this minus 1 over here. Minus becomes plus. 1 log 10 is 1. Okay. That's it. So 5 plus 1 is 6, by 2 3. So what is the pH of this resultant solution? It is 3. So this is how you need to calculate pH of weak acids. Okay, right. So in case of bases, how can we do? There we will get OH minus ion concentration. Here we got H plus ion concentration. There we will get OH minus ion concentration. There instead of giving Ka, they will give base dissociation constant Kb. Okay, then use POH equals to, use the formula POH equals to half, open the bracket, PKB minus log C. Okay, so PKB value ఇచ్చేస్తారు మనకి, Ka value ఇస్తే PKB value కనుక్కోండి, KB ఇస్తే PKB కనుక్కోండి, అందులో నుంచి ఇక్కడ సబ్స్టిట్యూట్ చేయండి. log C అంటున్నాం కదా, ఈ C కాన్సన్ట్రేషన్ ఎంత ఇస్తే అది ఇక్కడ రాసేయాలి అలా. ఓకే, whatever two models required related to weak acids pH calculations we discussed. First model is by looking at the alpha value. Second model, without giving alpha but giving Ka, acid dissociation constant. This is the model. Okay, I hope both discussions are clear without any confusions, right? So now if you have any books or you just use ChatGPT also, okay, you just go through Google. If you do not have any books related to this equilibrium chapter, just type the question like this. Just create 5 questions related to calculation of pH for weak acids and also for strong acids, also for strong bases, weak bases. So from the last 2 discussion, today's and the previous day discussion, with these 2 discussions of 30 minutes, easily you can do any type of question related to this concept. Okay, I hope this session is helpful. If you really like the content, please share with your friends and do subscribe to our NEET World channel. Thank you for watching. Stay connected.